Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Now as you can see, we are trying a new setting. Okay, my friend Agnes told me she didn't like the last one, so we are trying a new background, you guys. I hope you like it. Okay, now as you can see per the title of this video, today we are trying some new content. Like, this content is kind of different from the one I was filming last week, but you know, like most people, I am a multifaceted individual. Okay, so I understand that my view on this subject are quite controversial, so all I ask is that before you comment, that you watch the video till the end, or at least try to watch a big chunk of it, please. Also, I understand that everyone is not going to agree with me. You know, I'm not delusional. I don't expect the entire world to agree with me, but please, if you're gonna comment and you disagree with my opinion, I'm asking of you to be respectful now. Thank you. Now, I watch a ridiculous amount of content, you guys. I watch an ungodly amount of content, okay? Because I live the soft life, because Black women deserve a life of leisure, period. So I was introduced to Stephco's content like, I'd say 9 months ago. YouTube recommended her infamous "I don't have pretty privilege and it sucks" video to me, and I was like, interesting title, let me see. And I listened to it and I was like, sis is finna go viral, okay? Sis is finna blow up. And lo and behold, she did. Okay, a couple of weeks later, YouTube re-recommended the video to me, and it had like over 100,000 views, and I think when I first saw it, it had something like 600 views. And upon watching it again, I was like, I have some thoughts. Now, the first thing that stood out to me about Stephco's video is that, in my opinion, Stephco does have a pretty romanticized idea of what pretty privilege is, which, you know, it's not unusual. I'd say that we have romanticized ideas of the version that, you know, wealthy people live, or powerful people live, or attractive people live, you know, because we project onto them, right? I'd say that, you know, if I was really to think about it objectively, I'd say wealthy people live just, you know, except for the fact that they don't have to worry about money. They face the same problems that we do, you know. They can have self-esteem issues, they can have confidence issues, but, you know, we tend to project. We tend to, you know, as a society, we were told that, you know, rich people, powerful people, beautiful people live perfect lives, right? And I could definitely see that like vibe coming from Stephco's videos. Another thing that, you know, stood out to me is that I could never get away with something like that, right? Attractive people could never get away with creating content like that, right? I mean, I've seen some videos here on YouTube that attractive women have filmed about their life experience being attractive, and lo and behold, they always comment, the first comment is always like, you're not all that. Right? And I wish someone would, you guys, because let me tell you something, I am all that in a bag of chips, okay, period. But what I get it, right? People do not have like tremendous empathy for people who they perceive as more privileged than them, right? I say, you know, and I'd say even I'm like that, right? When I watch soccer, I watch a lot of soccer, right? I, you know, even though I'm rooting for Chelsea or whichever team it is I'm rooting for, when they lose, I'm still like, oh well, you know, you could literally wipe your tears with your money. Like, you could literally wipe your tears with your money, so I don't feel that bad for you. So I can imagine that, you know, women who perceive me as more privileged than them also do not have tremendous empathy for, you know, my struggles. So I get that. And another thing that stood out to me about Stephco's video is, so I feel like, you know, attractive people do not feel alive as eventful as Stephco was describing in the video. But, you know, then again, I'm gonna humble myself here and say I could be very wrong, right? Perhaps Stephco is referring on the video to women who are way more attractive than I am. You know, perhaps she is talking about the Nikitas of this world, right? The Ryan Destinies of this world, right? The Naomi Campbells of this world, right? Perhaps this is who, you know, Stephco is referring to. So I could be wrong, right? But what I know is that, you know, pretty privilege is not all that it's cracked up to be. And, you know, I'm not trying to gaslight Stephco at all, okay? I'm not trying to gaslight the good sis. Pretty privilege is certainly real. You know, I personally definitely have benefit from it, you know, in the past, and do benefit, you know, from it at times, from time to time. So my point isn't here to gaslight her at all. I just don't know if it's, you know, everything that she think it is, but oh well. But the main thing that stood out to me about watching Stephco's video though is, and I understand that this is gonna come across as low empathy, but please bear with me, okay? Like, what makes Stephco so entitled to pretty privilege? At the end of the day, in her last video about investing in beauty, I guess, Stephco says herself, she recognizes that pretty privilege is preferential treatment. You guys, preferential, okay? So what makes Stephco more than anyone else so entitled to preferential treatment, right? Stephco is not saying, I'm not being treated with basic respect and basic human decency. She's saying, I'm not being treated with preferential, okay? I cannot say this enough, treatment. So my thing is though, either we're all special or none of us is special, right? So the world doesn't owe you preferential treatment. Men that you don't know don't owe you to fly you out in LA or anywhere else, you know. They don't owe you to send you like 2,000 euros or dollars on your Venmo. Like, I get that, you know, some women get that, but you're not owed that by the world. Like, at the end of the day, if Stephco or anyone else want pretty privilege and they were not born with it, the only option is to go ahead and buy it. And of all privileges, and I understand this is unpopular opinion, so brace yourself, pretty privilege is, in my opinion, one of the most attainable one. I mean, if you're not born white, then you're not getting white privilege, period. But pretty privilege is something that you can, you know, you can work towards. Because, again, another unpopular opinion, in my opinion, beauty is not as subjective as we like to tell each other that it is. I understand that we like to tell one another, oh, everyone is beautiful and beauty is in the eye of the beholder, but I don't think that's entirely true. I think that attraction may be in the eye of the beholder. You may not be attracted to someone, but I think that, you know, we as a society have agreed pretty much on what beauty is. And understand that in this channel, when we are referring to beauty, we are talking about conventional attraction. I do think that we know what conventionally attractive people look like. You know, it's high cheekbones, it's, you know, white teeth, it's a very, you know, symmetrical face. I think there's a ratio that your eyes have to have, etc., you know, full plump lips, you know, long eyelashes. We know what attractive people look like, right? So, I mean, who can deny, you know, the beauty of Justin Sky or Octavia B, right? Except, you know, you're being contradictorian. English is not my first language, you guys, so that may not be right, you know. You know, unless you're just trying to be like really, really difficult. I feel most people would agree that, you know, Kelly Rowland is drop dead gorgeous, right? Moving on. Another thing that I saw a lot in Stephco's comment section is that dark-skinned black women do not benefit from pretty privilege, and I was puzzled because I do think that drop dead gorgeous dark-skinned black women benefit from pretty privilege every day. I wouldn't say that black women are not capable of, you know, receiving pretty privilege. I don't think that's right. I don't think that's correct. I think that, you know, any woman who is attractive, has a very symmetrical face, will benefit of some pretty privilege, even more so if you have like a thin body, a slim body, right? And you guys, I want to say here that I am team for Harriet, okay? I am team, let's just divest from beauty completely. I am team, you know, beauty shouldn't be currency. That's the team I'm on. But I am one person in 7 billion. Now, understand that. Let me tell you something about me. When I'm walking down the street and I find myself talking to someone and I find myself like being very dismissive of them, like I'm asking myself, you know, why am I being dismissive of this person? Why am I, you know? And if I realize that it's because I don't like what they're wearing, or, you know, I just, you know, don't like the way they look, I adjust the behavior immediately. If I find myself being extra nice to someone, you know, trying extra hard, you know, to be funny and be like, I also ask myself, why am I doing this right now? And if I see that I'm doing this because I find the person to be attractive, I may or may not correct the behavior, I'm not gonna lie, but I am self-aware enough in order to check myself. But I know that everyone is not me. Everyone is not like me. At the end of the day, I feel like most of us are not even aware of, you know, our innate, because studies have proven that even babies, you know, project the halo effect, which is the projection that we project onto. Take a sip every time I say project. You know, we tend to project positive qualities onto, you know, attractive people. We tend to think that they are good people even without knowing them. We just, you know, we just assume that. So, and I don't feel like that's going anywhere anytime soon. So that is why I'm giving this advice, not because I believe that pretty privilege is right. No, pretty privilege is wrong. It shouldn't exist. In an ideal world, everybody would be treated with basic respect and basic human decency. However, the sad truth is, no matter how many movements there are on IG, you know, against fat phobia and about beauty at every size and about inclusivity from brands, you know, we are still very much where we used to be. Of course, there are some tokens here and there, but the world is still as shallow today as it was in 1940 something, and I'm afraid that it will remain this way until my great-grandchildren are on earth, and even then, okay? I am sadly one of those people who believe that for there to have the haves, they have to have the have-nots, and I believe that there is always going to be, sadly, some hierarchy, you know, when it comes to wealth, when it comes to beauty, and I'm afraid that we will just have to adjust. Unfortunately, I have said this in my first video. This channel is about the realistic come up. It's about the realistic level up. If you live in La La Land, this channel may not be for you, okay? Now, come back after tomorrow. Maybe that video is gonna be for you, maybe. But clearly, you know, if you live in the fantasy that someday the world is gonna be equal and we're just gonna all love each other and one another, I'm afraid this content and this channel in general is not for you, okay? I have here some real advice for women, some tangible advice for women who are not fan of wine on the internet for 40 minutes about not having something, but who want to go out there in the world and get it, okay? I don't have wealth privilege and it sucks. I'm not fun to record a video about that though, okay? I'm fun to work towards my bag, okay? Now, if you are one of the innumerous women that commented under Stephco's video about not having pretty privilege and wanting it, I'm afraid your only option is to go ahead and buy it, okay? You know, I'd say if you are overweight, perhaps start there, and you know, because we know that fat phobia is alive and kicking, so you know, try to lose weight, try to jog, try to, you know, drink water, eat clean, you know, salmon, avocado, fruits, veggies, okay? Now if your weight is not your problem and you know you have a oh my god, I can't talk. If your face is not symmetrical, because you know, as we have you know, talked about before, a symmetrical face is what's considered attractive in today's society. Now, of course, we can even discuss that the idea of a symmetrical face is racist. I'm pretty sure whoever came up with that mathematic, you know, I'm sure that calculation is racist in some way, but that's not what this video is about. We can talk about that in another video if you all want to, but you know, assess your face. Is it symmetrical? And if you find that, you know, your face is not that symmetrical, you know, what can you do in order to make it to be more symmetrical? I have had, you know, cosmetic surgery. I've had a nose job, and I've opened up about that on this channel. You can go back and watch that video. Now, I am not saying that you need a nose job, okay? I'm saying you can have one if you want to, and if you can afford to. Always do not, of course, do not go and, you know, put yourself in debt for something as shallow as pretty privilege, even though clearly it is deep to some people. Right? So I'd say if you are very self-aware and you feel like you can assess it yourself, then go ahead and do that. If you feel you cannot do that, then ask a trusted friend. I'd say be careful here though, because I know that as I was preparing for my plastic surgery journey, I would always tell a friend that I'm going to do it, and she would always try to deter me from it and telling me that, oh, you're beautiful just the way you are, you look just fine. And obviously our friends and family members would always tell us that, you know, we look great just the way we are, but at the end of the day, you know, no matter how many people tell you you're beautiful, if you do not believe it, it doesn't matter. You know, you got to feel good about you. But what I've come to realize later is that she wasn't saying that out of a place of genuine love like my friend Agnes or like my mom. You know, she was saying that because at the time she perceived us to be at the same level of attractiveness, and she was worried that if I was to get the surgery, I would be considered as more attractive than her, right? And she couldn't afford the surgery at the time. So I'd say, if you're going to consult, you know, with friends and family, be mindful that, you know, that person, you know, genuinely is rooting for you. Another thing that you can do, of course, is consult with a plastic surgeon. Some of them do it for free, but I know that for some of them you have to pay a small fee. I mean, small is relative, but I think 100 and something dollars or euros is what you'd have to pay for a consultation, and they of course will be well equipped to tell you, you know, exactly what procedure they believe that, you know, you could have in order to increase, you know, your level of attractiveness. I want to end this video by saying that you know, I understand that what I'm saying in this video is not popular. I have seen many videos about pretty privilege on YouTube, and no one has like this thought, so I thought I'm going to bring like my view, which I feel is not, you know, at least I haven't seen a video on it on YouTube that has my perspective. Again, in an ideal world, none of this would be necessary, but we do not live in an ideal world. If you feel like you are perfect just the way you are, which you are, you're fine just the way you are. If you have found a way to cope with the world as is, and you don't feel you need to change anything, then by all means don't. You know, this is for women who are depressed, who are down, who are sad, who feel like, you know, life is not worth living in the way that they look. And sadly, some women have written that. I told you English is not my first language under Stephco's video. This is for them, you know. Perhaps you can change something in order to be happier or more confident. I don't know. I'm just trying to help you guys. I promise this is not coming from a negative place. If you made it to the end of this video, I am grateful and appreciative of you. Please do not come too hard for me in the comment section, okay? I am sensitive guys. You know, for more problematic content, okay, don't forget to like. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below respectfully. And subscribe to my channel. I will talk to you guys very soon in the next one. Bye guys. Mwah.